Alright, what is up YouTube? And today I'm going to be walking you guys through how to improve shoulder pain by changing up your routine a little bit or your form, and also accommodating internally rotated shoulders and counteracting them. This is a topic that I've gone over extensively on videos like my bro split chest and bro split shoulder workout video, as well as on my Instagram account also at Temple Forming. But I'm going to be taking you guys through how you can counteract probably the most common postural imbalance in the 21st century right now. And what forward rounded shoulders or internally rotated shoulders looks like is kind of this, where your shoulders are hunched forward. Right now I'm exaggerating it a little bit, but basically your shoulders just turn in a little bit. And there are a lot of reasons why this can happen. First and foremost, your shoulders are rounded forward when you're texting, when you're at the computers typing away, during school or work or what have you. Even in your free time, we're often playing games on computers, the PCs, or just gaming on console with the controllers in our hands. You know, kind of have the forward rounded look to you. So after all that time, your back muscles start to stretch out and your chest muscles start to get tight and get used to just being folded in like that. So what you need to do is strengthen those back muscles and stretch the chest muscles. So the door stretch, which is basically just where you go like this, holding onto a door and opening up that pec a little bit, that is a very actionable step to stretching the chest and keeping it a little more open. Then you want to strengthen the back, pulling it back into postural alignment and doing things like rows, especially like machine rows or rows where you have a fixed kind of stabilizer so that you can just like contract your back muscles, pulling yourself back into a postural alignment. But you can also do, your deadlifts, barbell rows, dumbbell rows, and lat pull downs as well, or pull-ups. But something you can do every single day, not necessarily for a weight workout, is take a resistance band, and if you don't have a resistance band, then use like a towel or rag in its place that you can, apply some stress to, some pulling stress, and just hold it like this. About, make sure there's a little bit of slack. You can still pull without snapping the band. But you basically just want to take it and pull it out like this. So you are essentially just spreading apart the band, and all that tension you will feel right behind your shoulder blades. Your back muscles are contracting, pulling themselves together so that you can stretch this band as you do. I'm casually talking to you guys right now, but this is actually kind of difficult, applying this stress to the band and, pulling it apart. And this is something that I do for just like 5 to 30 seconds every single morning because, me, I am gaming a lot, I'm editing on the computer a lot, I'm doing a lot of pressing movements like benching. That's something I forgot to mention earlier, is the more pressing movements you're doing, the more you're rounding your shoulders forward because you're contracting those muscles involved in the pressing movements. There's a little bit of a caveat with shoulder press because you're depending on how you're doing, you're like going up and not really caving forward. But even if you are doing that, take care of your shoulders. A really good rule of thumb I like to follow is what is pushed must be pulled. So for every pressing movement I do, I like to, contract the back muscles and get some contraction back there too. So I'm not just going all forward and wearing out my body by slouching my shoulders forward. And that pinches tendons right here. Too much pressing and too much rounded shoulders. And that can lead to injury. So this is also going to be vastly helpful for helping you guys improve injury. So things like that band pull apart and things like rear delt flies are going to be very instrumental for you guys taking care of your shoulders. Doing good shoulder stretches and shoulder rotations before every workout and maybe after, or just dedicating a day to shoulder mobility is also going to help quite a bit. And you can give those a look in the warm-up portion of my shoulder bro split workout, which I will link down below. Other movements that you can do to help your postural alignment and your back is to do things like face pulls, which are basically using similar muscles to the ones used in the band pull apart and rear delt fly, but you're just going to be doing slightly heavier loads because you're involving the biceps in this movement, like this. You can do neutral or reverse or normal grip face pulls as well. Lastly, let's talk about how to change your pressing movements to counter that internal rotation a little bit, especially if it can be avoided. So I'm not really talking about people who are training for powerlifting or specific sports training that are utilizing the very specific pressing movements, and you have no margin to change up your form or grip whatsoever. But doing reverse grip bench can help you not internally rotate your shoulders, but still build the chest muscles and stimulate all the muscles used in that movement, but without internally rotating the shoulders, if that makes sense, because you're going like that. And the same goes for dips. Some of you guys might have a dip bar that kind of makes somewhat of a V shape or a U shape, but basically the furthest end is wider apart than the end closest to the actual rack contraption. It makes kind of like a V shape. And instead of holding that V like this, change your grip, spin around, and go like this. This is a tip I got from my buddy Josh at the gym, because a lot of people pinch their shoulders doing dips. They go really deep and they think the depth's the problem. And if you're doing weighted dips, then definitely be careful that you don't go to a depth that you can't push back out of, because that can lead to injury. But with body weight, a lot of people still injure their shoulders, and that is an internal rotation injury. That internal rotation with the V-shaped bar grip, you are kind of in a deep stretch, deep range of motion, that causes some pinching right there. So all you want to do is turn your grip out with your thumbs turning away from your nipples instead of turning towards your nipples, and then going down in the range of motion. I'll play a couple clips, splice them in here and there to show you guys exactly what I mean. And I'll try to show you what I mean here with my setup too. As you can see, this bar right here doesn't really make too much of a V, but these move like a little bit in and out. And actually, you can turn these outward, but I don't. So it's not as big of a deal, but there is still a slight angle in with these. So what I do is I just turn around. Instead of going like this, I will go like this. And another little trick is with dips. Don't do this for bench because, suicide grip can be kind of risky on bench. But with dips, and especially not weighted dips, if you're doing body weight, instead of wrapping your thumb around, keep your thumb over like so, because that also turns your wrists outward, and your shoulders are going to follow your wrists. If your wrists are turned inward, your shoulders are also going to turn inward. But if your thumb's outside, kind of turning your palms outside with the thumbs is going to kind of lead to your shoulders turning a little outside too. And during low risk of injury movements like the body weight dip, this will really help in not internally rotating your shoulders. So just like that. And then don't forget, if you utilize machines, you can also do the neutral grip chest presses often. And if you're a push-up person, you can also change your grip, angling your knuckles or palms, your wrists basically, out like a W instead of in like an A. And yeah, you should probably minimize and over time fix your internal rotation by combining stretching, the back and rear delt strengthening workouts, improving shoulder mobility, and then accommodating your pressing movements to externally rotate, not internally rotate quite as much. So thank you guys so much for watching. I hope this helped somebody out, and I love you guys. God bless y'all. Peace out, and I'll see y'all next time.